Hello there, everybody. The reason I am coming to you in negative 40 degree weather here in Bismarck, North Dakota today is just to try and help you out. The purpose of this video is to clear up some of the anxiety and the stress of going into a dealer. I see it every day, all the time at my work. I'm in sales. I work at a dealer here, the largest in North Dakota. And all the time I get the same thing. Gosh, we just don't know this, we don't know that. And then it's a long process getting to where we need to go and trying to determine what it is exactly that you're wanting and what you're even looking for. So if you can answer these 5 things right here, you're gonna go into dealership feeling so good about yourself, seriously. The first thing, guys, is what are you pulling with? Okay, this is gonna determine a lot of things. If it's a half ton, if it's an SUV, it's a minivan, it doesn't matter. But it is going to tell us if you can pull a big fifth wheel like one of these behind me, or maybe we need to get you into a travel trailer, or maybe even you're a customer that wants to drive something motorized. You don't even want to mess with pulling something. So that's a huge one. That's kind of, if you don't have that figured out, it's hard to even really talk about looking at anything because we don't know what you can pull. So if you can figure out exactly what you're going to be pulling with, what the tow rating is and all that stuff, which we can help too with that, it's going to help out a ton. Okay, the second thing is where exactly are you going to be pulling this camper to? The reason this is so important, guys, is not all spots are created equal. Not all campgrounds are equal. A lot of people don't know this, but state parks, national parks, they have regulations on the size you can even pull into the park. So if you're planning on doing these big grandiose vacations every year with your kids and going to national parks, and a big fifth wheel, it's probably not going to happen. If you're over 32 feet, someone won't even let you in. There's even smaller restrictions in state parks and stuff. I know it kind of varies, but where you're going is huge. Also, like how often you're actually going there. What I mean by that is if you're just gonna pull it somewhere and drop it, then maybe you do wanna go higher in weight. Maybe you're not so worried about maxing out what your truck's capable of because you're not even gonna be pulling the unit that much. So if you know, like, yeah, we're gonna be the weekend warrior, or we're just gonna drop it and leave it there for the summer, that's gonna help out a ton. Okay, guys, the third thing is, what does a day of camping look like for you? This might be the most important one just because it kind of determines everything else. But really, what I mean by that is you start thinking, what, you know, are your kids going? Are you guys active? Are you going fishing? Are you going out to a family farm? Are you just going to a campsite to hang out and enjoy the activities in the area? Are you just going to get away and, you're hoping for a rainy night where you can watch some movies? The reason all this is important, guys, is because if you're the type that likes to hang inside and watch movies at night, maybe a love seat across from a TV is a big deal. A lot of campers, that TV isn't right across from the seating area. So that's a big deal to a lot of people. So that helps a ton. If it's gonna be in and out with the kids and you're down by the river and they're always messy and it's just your biggest fear is having to yell at them all the time, kick your shoes off, don't get in the camper all dirty, then you should really look at something that maybe has a split bath, where there's a bathroom in the back with a rear entrance and you walk through that bathroom to get in the camper. Then you can send all the kids through there and they can wash off and drop their shoes and all that before they even enter the camper. If you're going to be going up into the mountains and on some rough, rugged dirt roads or whatever, maybe you want to get something with a little higher clearance and you don't want to go as high in weight so it's not as hard on the unit. Just all sorts of different stuff, and there's thousands of scenarios. But if you really know, like, okay, when we camp, I want to be set up within 10 minutes. I don't want to mess with automatic or with manual leveling jacks. I want to be able to hit a button and have my hydraulic jacks drop down, or hit a button and have my electric stabilizer jacks drop down, and then all of a sudden I'm drinking beer and telling stories within 15 minutes of pulling up. That's a big deal. We need to know that. The fourth thing, guys, is where are you going to be storing this? Okay, this is huge. We time and time I see it all again. People, they come in, they get something, they're excited, they go home just to realize it doesn't even fit in the driveway. So if you know where you're storing it, that's huge. Another reason that can affect things is if you can't put it in your driveway, or city ordinance makes it to where you can't just leave it out on the street year round. If you're in a a little nicer climate area, obviously you're not going to probably do that here in North Dakota where they need to plow the streets 6 months out of the year. Maybe that storage will cost you. It could cost you a lot, and if it costs you $120 a month to store it somewhere where you feel safe having it, then that could come out of your camper budget, which brings me to my fifth point. How much do you have budgeted for this camper? This is huge, guys. Obviously, budget's everything. Whether it's 10 grand, you want to spend 5 grand, 100 grand, 200 grand, really doesn't matter as long as you have an idea. Why this is so important is because if you come in and say, I don't know my budget, or we really haven't thought about budget, show me what you got. Well, we literally have campers from that, you know, $10,000 sub $10,000 range all into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. So if I have no idea where you fall in that, it's going to be a long, lengthy process and trying to figure out, you know, what it is we should be looking at. And then, you know, I'm wasting your time and I don't want to do that. So if you can come in and say, hey, this is what we want to spend, 9 times out of 10, you're going to leave not spending more than that amount. But if you come in and say, oh, well, I don't know, and then you're seeing stuff that's way out of your range, well, now you feel this emotional tie and you're pulling yourself to, okay, do we want to spend more? Can we spend more? Or maybe we shouldn't even get a camper if we can't have that. Well, maybe you should have never even seen that if what you should be in is something different, which is fine. You know, it's not about who has the nicest thing, who has the biggest thing, the best thing. What matters is that you're camping, that you're spending time with your family, loved ones out at the campsite. That's what it's all about, guys. Hope this helped. If you are looking for a camper, or if you have any questions in regards to your camper purchase, please put your info in below and I'd love to help you out. Thanks a lot.